How are you guys doing? This is Martin from Gardens for Life. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of our Woodchip island, and it's a fully basically mulched garden with wood chips that we set up about 1 year and 3 months ago. And so basically about May and June of 2019, and there are some other videos of how we made it, and I'm going to give you a quick midsummer tour now, or late summer tour of this garden behind me here. As you can see, it's very well in bloom, and yeah, we need to give you guys a bit more content. We've been so busy for the last 2 weeks now with our plant sale going on that we haven't really had a chance to do much basically video making, and it also takes a lot of time and work and effort to actually edit these videos as well. And we have plenty of ideas to have videos, like what content we can actually put into videos. The only thing is actually doing it, because it does take time and it takes away from well, other jobs that need to be done as well. So give you a quick tour of this garden here now. It's basically mostly vegetables last year we grown here, and some tubers as well, lots of tubers. This year it's mostly perennials. We did plant those fruit trees that you can see here. I'll just show you here, like this one here. There's an oak tree here as well. That's the first tree that we actually planted on this piece of land about 3 years ago, actually nearly 2.5 years ago. And so these plants here were all planted last year. There was basically nothing but a field here, just like that, just pure grass, and we basically covered it in a bit of cardboard and some lots of mushroom compost. We have a video on that and how we did it, and then wood chips. So now I'll show you here. This is a buddleia. This is actually a oregano bush. Isn't it beautiful? Plus you get fresh leaf growth every summer, every spring as well, and you get to have leaves basically nearly all year round. This is a yarrow plant. It's a pink one. Look how big that is. Well, that was only planted in the ground last year, and look at that. There's my hand. And there's a hydrangea blue one. This is a chive plant. It's nearly scallions, you could say. Very healthy looking. And here's a dahlia. We planted a few dahlia. Here's a red hot poker coming through, and some aronia berries, and lots of strawberries. We got probably a few hundred strawberry plants actually in the ground here. They've actually all those 12 varieties that you've seen before. Here's some clot of gold, yarrow again, and a gooseberry in between. Lots of wigelias, some Californian lilac, that is, blue lilac. We have some goji berries right here around the oak tree. Here is actually some giant poppies, and they certainly are giant. Plenty of them coming out. I only planted this here maybe about 1.5 months ago or 2 months ago from a 2-litre pot, just like the ones we're selling in our plant sale. And here are some flowering currants and more strawberries. That's Cambridge favourite. Here's some valerian. And of course, here are the hollyhocks. This is I believe this is a peach or pink. I can't quite tell the difference at this point. I believe it's a pink one. We have plenty more of those if anyone's looking for them. And here are some josta berries, and here are some ochas. That's one variety. And here's some strawberries and cream, another variety. Let's swing it around this way. Here's my favorite variety of strawberries, Pegasus. It's basically as big as half the size of a normal strawberry. However, 10 times the flavor, I believe. Something very similar to the wild strawberries. Here we have more josta berries, and we're going to be able to offer those to you soon as well, because we nearly have enough cuttings. These are purple sprouting broccoli, still sprouting, and this is the end of July. I mean, plants are just so healthy around here. This is Portuguese kale. It's a forest of Portuguese kale. Amazing. We planted these about August last year, 11 months ago, and check out the size of the trunks. They're about 1.5 meters tall, and you can eat the leaves any time of the year, like these ones here. You just leave these ones here. You'll have the outer leaves actually basically depleting, or they'll actually come back. The plant takes up the energy from the outer leaves and discards the leaves. You can see here, that's a normal process. That's gone dry now. And just don't eat those, don't pick them off, because the plant will still take the energy back from it, and it replaces the leaves actually readily enough. And you can actually harvest the leaves somewhere between halfway between the outer leaves, like these ones, and the inner leaves. So it's like an ocean of Portuguese kale out here. Really nice one for soups. Here is another hollyhock. This is a black one. We're nearly sold out of that one actually. Must grow some more. Here's some horseradish. It's a huge plant now. It's about 1 meter and a bit tall. And yeah, hopefully we can actually split those. I got those off my stepmother, thanks to her. She sent me over some in the post about last winter actually, and they grew very well, and hopefully they'll spread so we can make lots of new plants. Here is something very special actually. This is an American elderberry, and this one here is a Florida elder, and it's really hard to get American elders in Europe. I don't know why nobody's selling them, but we were honestly looking for them for about 3 or 4 years, and we finally found some. And then suddenly a friend of ours actually gave us some as well, Hannah Mole. She gave us some cuttings as well, but now we have 2 or 3 different varieties, and it's nice to have. This is the strawberries they're called I'm sorry, I forgot the name. It's a white one anyway. Snow White, of course it is. Snow White. And yeah, no, we found them not too productive, but still a nice novelty one to have. Here's some more yarrow, cloth of gold, and here's some curly willow. Look at how nice that is. I really like curly willow. Curly corkscrew willow actually. Look at how it's swaying in the wind. And here's some more. Just a stick, just a cutting put in the ground. Now we did grow these from plants actually. And we'll have plenty of those actually available to you guys if you're interested soon enough now. They're only rooting into the pots. These are red currants and black currants. More aronia berries. Unfortunately we had lots of flowers, but they did not actually produce fruits. I believe it was a late frost. Here's a licorice tree that's in the ground, and this is a Rouge de Bordeaux fig tree. More gooseberries, dandelion of course. Cannot have a garden without dandelion. We don't actually remove dandelions, to be honest, because they're so useful. You can eat the leaves, you can make wine and cordials from the flowers, all kinds of different uses actually. The roots are medicinal too, and the leaves are actually liver tonic as well. This is another variety of strawberry. You can see how in the wood chips you don't have to do anything at all. They'll just root into the ground. Look how the roots are popping up here. All you have to do is leave them alone and they'll actually spread. You need to give them some space, but we're actually nearly full up on space here. And here is a very large marshmallow plant. This is about 2 meters tall nearly, and what beautiful leaves it has. Very soft leaves. And it's actually just beginning to flower. I'll show you the flowers in another place. I know some of them have opened. So moving right along, this is Feverfew. I'd highly recommend people growing this because it's actually a preventative for migraine. Also it helps with period pain as well. The leaves are actually chewed for migraines. This is some oca. Here's some pineapple mint. Some Jerusalem artichokes in the background there, that's red fusio. And here is a couple of blackcurrant bushes and more strawberries and aronias. Plenty more of those. And we did not have a huge harvest from these actually, growing them in wood chips, because the birds must be taking most of them, because it's far from the house. So we might just take up some of them and put them into those crates like we showed you in the other video, and we can get more of a harvest then right out the back door of our house. This is iced tea. Look at the size of that plant. Isn't that beautiful? In wood chips everything grows like crazy, and the smell of it is so good. And this is Egyptian mint over here, also known as round leaf mint. Not sure why. I think Egyptian mint is a much more suitable name. This is tayberry. We're going to be taking lots of these as cuttings and then put them into root into a crate. And you can see here some of them actually have already tip layered. That's how the plant grows, and it actually grows into the ground. And watch this now, very carefully pull that up. See, it's actually fairly deeply rooted. I'll have to clear the ground a little bit, but you can see it has actually grown into another plant. So I'll take that up and actually pot it up. And here is a couple of goji berries. These are the Chinese variety, I believe. It could very well be the desert wolfberry, but we also have that one, which we grew from seed actually, that we got from America. Here you can see lots and lots of sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes. There is white truffle, there is red fusio over there. We have some yacon. This is New Zealand red yacon. It's a really nice one. Planted in between. An okra plant here. Not sure where that came from, but I believe I planted it one day. They do volunteer, but not so much. I'll show you some of the volunteers now. This is actually a really nice one as well. This is basil mint. It's a really nice flavour. And here's another fig tree. Peretta. Another American elder planted here, and a huge chive plant. Chives are great, and they have lots of flowers on them too once they're established. There's a ginkgo tree. We're growing some of those too now. Also known as the maidenhair tree from Japan. These are Aurora red Jerusalem artichokes, just here. And behind there, the Chinese Jerusalem artichokes. And some more lemon balm in the background there, and an apple tree that we grew from seed actually. Here, these oca plants actually volunteered, and they're quite tall now. They're nearly as strong as the other ones that were planted a little bit earlier in pots in the greenhouse. This is another variety now. This is actually the maroon one, and this big long row here is Mexican red. Very excited about that. We only started with 3 tiny little tubers that we got from our good friend Frank from Belgium with his vegetable garden about 1.5 years ago, and we've been growing this many out of those 3 tubers. And these are the Paskov, which is a really nice variety of oca. There's in the background here, let me show you, a mulberry tree just here, Bistrica, but I'm not sure if it's going to take off. It's kind of slow on growth. And these are a couple of special varieties of sea buckthorn, and some potatoes that were volunteering, which we harvested last year, and that's great. I mean, let them grow by all means. Here we have some thornless blackberries, and we'll be taking up some of those and trellising them. We're going to put a bit of a fence here, not even a fence, just a couple of wires really between 2 posts, and then trellis them up. And once you keep the thornless blackberries up like this, They're not tip layer, of course, but they'll flower instead. I'll show you that in behind the other greenhouse someday. So keep following our videos and you'll see it eventually. But it's really quite a sight after 2 years of those thornless blackberries having established. It makes all the difference. All of these fruits, all of them basically are perennial, and especially the fruits, once they take off, you have them for 30 or 40 years or longer. There's no limit to it really, because they keep replenishing themselves. Here's some American elder trees that we got from Hannah. Here are some white fuchsia and a jostaberry. Again, here is a black thornless blackberry that has tip layered. As you can see, it has actually rooted down into the ground here. Here is more Portuguese kale. That's only 1 year old and will have plenty of plants on the way. The problem is everybody wants the Portuguese kale plants. Well, of course, you could just grow it from seed. Or you can just get the plants and then get a head start of several months or even a year. You can get those a year old. They're very prolific and well worth planting in the garden. You'll never need to really plant another variety of kale or cabbage, but we do. We plant some other varieties like Nero, Black Tuscany and Red Russian kale. Here are some jostaberries and some more Portuguese kale gone to seed there. Here's Herman, that's a variety of artichoke, or Jerusalem artichoke. And here is a giant sage bush. Look at that, that's the size of my hand, right, compared to the leaves. And look at the size of the sage bush. It's about 1.5 meters in diameter, and it was only a little plant of about 2 liters in a 2 liter pot when it was planted here. And you can see also there is some great mullein in between. One of our favorite plants of all time. We also have an orange variety now, which will be grown for next year, so keep an eye out for that. Here is one of Charles Dowding's kale that we got a cutting from David and Hazel from Wicklow. Isn't that beautiful? And it's perennial kale, same as the Portuguese kale. So here is another mashua plant. Actually looks very similar to nasturtium, but it's tuberous, and you can eat the leaves and the flowers and the tubers. Or yacon. I'll take you around this way first. I try not to swing the camera too quickly because I don't want to make anyone seasick. Here are some mashua plants. Bloody Tears is the name of the variety. I don't know who named it that, but that's the name of it. And on the other side is some Amarillo. There's another variety of strawberries. I believe that is, let me check. Elegance is the name of that one. Here's another little patch of potatoes, mostly volunteers. Let me bring it around this way. Around the whole garden we have like a 1 meter wide woodchip path, which goes basically all the way around, just to be able to basically make it handy to walk all around it in order to reach everything. It's nice to have a few little open spaces too. Here's a lilac tree just over here, and more feverfew and lots of yarrow. This is actually wild yarrow. This is the white one. It's also known as globe flower, or soldier's woundwort. You can eat the leaves too, and it's very nice in a salad. Actually, you can also make a poultice out of it by chewing it up and putting it on an open wound, and it'll stop the bleeding. And here are some plants that we're keeping for somebody. More currants. We like to interplant red currants, white currants and black currants too in corners. Here is another feverfew plant, and another marshmallow plant, and some more Portuguese kale. Here's another variety of strawberry, Malvinia I believe this is, and here's some marshmallow flowers actually. Aren't they nice? Kind of purple inside and white on the outside. Wait until this huge plant actually takes off, when it starts opening up its flowers. Wait until you see the amount of insects around. It's going to be awesome. See, don't want to keep you guys all day. Well, that's about it. Here is the big lemon balm, which is actually only planted here as a plant just for the purpose of getting rid of the flies. If you have a lot of flies around, all you do is you take a sprig and you rub it, or you can roll it with 2 hands, and you simply put it on your ear. You might look silly, or maybe even put one on the other side, depending on whether the flies are really bad. But if you have a cloud of flies around you, they'll actually dissipate eventually after a few minutes of having it, because of the limonella, I believe it's called. So at the moment it's windy, so there's no flies around. So luckily we have our fluffy microphone, which helps with that, because by God, the microphone on the camera is crap when it's windy. So yeah, no, that's basically all there's to it. There's actually also a wood mallow here. Hang on, look at that. I didn't actually see that one from the other side. Look at that, aren't they nice flowers? Purple. The original Malva sylvestris wood mallow. You can eat the leaves, the flowers, and you can. It's a perennial. It'll keep growing and growing year after year. Very reliable, and you can also grow it in a semi-shaded position. You don't need full sun for it, I believe. Hence the name sylvestris, which means forest in Latin. And thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that tour, and keep on watching our videos. If you enjoyed them, please give us a thumbs up and follow us or subscribe to us, or go to gardensforlife.ie/subscribe and join our email list for the latest news, and sometimes we do an all raffle as well. Thanks a million. Good luck. Bye bye. See you at the next video.